Hi, I'm Craig and welcome to Market Power, where we look at the power of markets and economics to shape our world. And trees are really such a great example of the power of markets and economics to improve the world. Because you might not realize it, but economics are helping us save forests and trees all around us. A lot of people think economic growth is detrimental to the environment, but that's not always the case. In fact, economic growth can be very beneficial to environment like the forests and even water resources. There's something called a forest transition, where countries go from losing forest land to actually gaining it. And that transition is often facilitated through economic growth. So if you think about industrialization, we often think about how terrible industrialization is for the environment because of the factories that are sitting there producing things, putting carbon out into the air. But what industrialization often does is bring people to the same location. They move away from the countryside and into a city, and they concentrate themselves there. And then that allows forests to repopulate and regrow. They use fewer resources by being closer to their neighbors, closer to their work. All of those kind of forces of industrialization and urbanization allow us to have beautiful areas where we can have forests that are untouched. Deforestation is the second largest contributor to putting carbon into our atmosphere, and most of that deforestation happens in developing countries. Now, the reason why these countries have to cut down trees is because they often don't have the resources to afford other sources of fuel. For instance, charcoal is one of their greatest resources for cooking, and charcoal comes from trees. If we could transition them to products like kerosene or other fossil fuels that would allow them to produce more heat with more efficiency, they wouldn't need to cut down the trees, and we could end deforestation. Wait, we want to prevent deforestation by moving towards fossil fuels? Well, that's how we did it historically here in the developed world, and that's how they're going to do it in the developing world. But what about the long run game? Isn't that just going to make things worse? How is economic growth helping there? Well, the way all of history has gone is as soon as those things start developing and we start running out of that resource, we move to a more efficient use of the resource, to things that are more abundant. So we went from trees to fossil fuels, and that allowed us to use something that was much more abundant and cheaper for us to use. Now we're trying to go from fossil fuels to solar or nuclear. Those things are easier and cheaper for us to have, and as a result, we're going to have cleaner energy. And so economic growth lets us move and innovate towards those things that are more abundant and better for the environment. So while economic growth is the best way to help out with deforestation in the long run, in the short run, we need some more immediate solutions. And that's what Team Trees is all about. I'll be putting a playlist here of other Team Tree videos. And if you want to learn more about the economics behind cleaning up the environment, go ahead and check out this video here on #TrashTag. Thanks for watching Market Power, and we will see you in the next video.